Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast, all the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. I kind of was pondering over sharing this story from yesterday for a couple reasons, and I ended up thinking, no, it's not worth it. It doesn't make me look great, and so I don't want to share that. No, I will share it. So I went to the gun store yesterday because I am a gun owner, a responsible gun owner. And it's weird, like I didn't have guns while my daughter was in the house because my wife, it was like off limits for her because she didn't want like anything accidentally happening. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't have lived with that either. But I like to target shoot. I enjoy it. I like the discipline of it. And so I had this one gun that was jamming. It was having a problem, so it wouldn't eject the shell. And I've run it through a couple things. I've taken it apart. I've cleaned it. I've done all these things. And I took it to a gunsmith yesterday. And much like when you take a car to a mechanic, you're like, it makes this rattle noise, and then they drive it. Mm-hmm. You're just praying it makes that same noise. And so we go over everything, and he goes, well, let me go shoot it a little bit and see what happens. And he comes back, and he's like, it's working perfectly. I'm like, dadgummit. And so he's trying to theorize over what might have happened, and this is the worst part. Because when you already walk into a gun store, you already feel inferior, if you're me. To all of these other big burly guys.
Yeah, so this 5'6" guy comes in. Yeah. He's like, my gun, it keeps getting jammed and it hurts my finger.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little heavy too. And hey, do you have anyone that could paint it pink? It's like it's literally.
Could you bedazzle it?
Yes, it's literally how you feel when you walk in there. And so I meet this gunsmith. He is the nicest guy in the world. Like he doesn't make me feel bad up to this point. Like he's up to this point, like we have a great relationship. And he is. He's like, look, it's $100 an hour if I work on this. Let me give you some ideas of things you could change to maybe see if it will help this problem. Because I don't want you to spend money that's not warranted. I'm like, good on you, sir. You've earned my business. Nicely done. So then he goes, here, let me see you hold it. And so I just pick it up and I hold it like I would if I was going to shoot. And he goes, I think I see the problem. I'm like, how could this jamming
user error
be a problem with how I'm holding it? And he's like, well, this particular gun, if you don't hold it like with a strong grip, it will cause
a strong grip.
Well, it gets worse. It will cause the recoil to transfer out of the gun and not down through your body like it should, and then that would make the gun clear, the jam. And he's like, it's not a big deal. You just change your grip like this. Like what you're doing right now we call limp wristing. I know.
He called you that?
Yes, he goes.
You're a limp wrister.
Yeah, and he's like,
that's bad.
And he mentioned that term.
That's really bad.
A good 4 or 5 times.
Stop repeating it.
In earshot of the cute lady that was working there too, which is so great.
Oh,
He's like, yeah, limp wristing it. And I'm like, and he's like, yeah. And so, if you're not holding it tight enough, it limp wrists. And I'm like, I know, we've covered this. I understand. We need to stop saying
like,
limp
LR,
wrist.
come here.
Yeah, look at this guy limp wristing it.
Should have been LW.
That's even funnier.
No, what's funny is you fell for it.
Yeah.
You said, yeah.
I thought you were just making a funny name.
You weren't.
I did.
You weren't.
You know how we make up names like Scotty?
Wrist either.
No.
Dummy.
I thought you were just making up a name like, hey, Scotty, like LLR, like a redneck name, like Danny Ray.
Sure.
And anyway, so that was... I already was self-conscious about going in there as it was with a problem, and then that...
You can't show your face there anymore.
It did not help. No, I will go somewhere else in the future. No, and the sad thing is, it was a really nice guy, but yeah, and then...
Walk in, there comes Limp Wrister.
And I look over
Coming
at the girl.
Coming in at a 5'6" Limp Wrister.
And I see the girl, and I just kind of make slight eye contact, and I just turn my head out of shame, and then... As I go to pick it up, I drop it, and so my hands are too soft. I can't hold it.
I don't know. You tell the story though, and the one time you took me to a range when I first got here, I went, and that day I decided to wear a pink hoodie.
Oh, yes.
What were you thinking?
I mean, again, there's never done it before.
Yeah.
That for some reason hit me as like a fashionable item back 6 years ago. He's never taken me back.
No, never. They talked about it still.
Pink shirt and Limp Wrister.
Right, yeah. They're a cute couple, aren't they?
There's your title.
Yeah. So it's embarrassing.
Oh,
but
man.
You bring up the pink hoodie because we talked about this on the show one day before about like dressing differently for different places. Like you dress different to go to Walmart than you do Target.
Yeah.
I actually yesterday, like I had black joggers on and a Red Bull soccer shirt, and even that was questionable for walking in there. I thought about changing, but I was already dressed.
Yeah,
it was 4 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm too tired to worry about this. And so then I walk in there with this outfit on and get called Limp Wrist. Like it's just, it all checked out.
Oh, so good. I wish I was there.
I was just glad
What is that you're trying to say, Stan?
Yeah.
Limp wrister?
I'm just
make
glad
a
that the
t-shirt
four,
I haven't heard that. What does that mean?
The 4 cops who were in there doing range
Marines
practice,
are
I
in
was
the
so
back.
glad they had left before this all went down. Hey, did you know that tomorrow is Burrito Day?
Yes.
And so Chipotle, they have a thing if you go online to unlockburritoday.com, you can play this game where you try to unlock a code that will give you either a free burrito or a buy one, get one free code. I played twice today, and I couldn't get it.
Oh,
Like,
what's
and
the game?
it's not
Probably your limp wrist.
That's probably
working
it.
against you.
Yeah.
You told that story like at your own expense.
I did.
Her.
And see, but that's the kind
At
of
his
thing.
funeral.
That
Like,
is
Speaking of ammo,
that is that is my commitment to the podcast and the Aftercast is the honesty, even when it doesn't benefit me. So it's weird. Like you have to pick ingredients like in this order, and then it tells you if that's right, like the different ingredients that you're picking, and then you have to then deduce from there. Well, if this is an X, then I got to go back and reselect this, but I want to leave this and leave that, but move that and stuff. And I tried it twice, and I just lost interest. I'm like, I'll just pay the $12, which is a crime for a burrito, by
confusing.
the way. Yeah, it got to be where it wasn't that much fun.
National
but yeah,
Burrito Day, but are they discounting their burritos?
probably not. They're the worst. They are the worst. I paid
Sounds
$12
good,
for a burrito the other day. It was crazy. This was an interesting story. I'm curious. And it's political in nature, but we're not diving into the politics of it. But there's a Democratic senator who broke the record for the longest speech ever given on the Senate floor. He was speaking in protest of Donald Trump's policies. And the previous record was held by, I think it was Alabama Senator Strom Thurmond. And Strom Thurmond, when he spoke, he was out actually speaking against the Civil Rights Act. And he spoke for a long time against that. So he was a piece of work. But the rules are of this, okay, if you're going to do this, it's called a filibuster, where you have the floor and no one can interrupt you. It's your time unless you yield.
That Parks and Rec episode? Where,
Yes!
What's
Leslie
Knope
Knope and
what's the actor's name? Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt, yes.
is just randomly talking about Star Wars.
You can talk about anything you want. You just cannot yield your time. You cannot go to the bathroom, and you cannot sit down.
Gavin wouldn't
Never.
make it.
Yeah, Gavin would have made it 18 minutes, not even.
A second.
Shortest filibuster ever. But no, so you can't sit down, and you cannot go to the
I
bathroom.
love that. That's so simple.
For however long it takes. If one of those two things happen, you lose the floor, and then they can move on. But it's weird because, I guess everyone else has to just stay there, or at least somebody
You can't leave?
Somebody presiding over it has to be there, which
Yeah.
is crazy. That guy should get a record
I
broken.
think that's
too.
why Leslie had to be there for the whole episode.
So how long do you think this Democratic senator went to break the speech record? No bathroom, cannot sit down.
7 hours.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
17 hours.
17 hours. Both good guesses. Gavin higher than Betty. He
Bigger.
went 24 hours and 18 minutes to break the record.
You are legally.
Wow.
That is
Like
crazy.
you could get I think you can legally get a DUI at
From
that
being
point
too
for being
tired?
too
Yeah.
tired. Like 24 hours. We've all probably pulled all-nighters.
It's,
I don't know if Betty has.
like school. Well, no, Betty's never pulled an all-nighter.
Have you
Betty,
ever?
she is so into sleep.
I think I did one time, but I was really young.
Like
Yeah.
if you did it now, I think we
no,
would.
no.
There'd be a murder.
Yeah.
Like the next morning, she would murder
I would.
somebody.
for sure.
I would take a day off.
I would take a nap if I was going to have to do an all-nighter.
Yeah, and they're tough.
Yeah, so to literally not go to the bathroom for 24 hours.
How old is this guy?
I would say probably 40s,
You'd have to be so
50.
dehydrated.
Yeah, there's nothing I'm that passionate about.
No.
Like I can't even imagine that, and to fill that amount of time talking about nothing.
And I'm hungry. Can he eat?
Yeah, you can eat. You just cannot leave. But then that's the thing. The problem is you got to dehydrate yourself, or if you eat too much and you got to go to the bathroom. 24 hours without using the restroom, that's a grip of time. So that was, a pretty amazing feat, if nothing else. I don't agree with the reason.
I wouldn't want to stand for that long.
No, absolutely not.
I just don't know how you come up with that much content to talk about.
No, that would be the hardest. That would be the harder part.
I think you probably are the most capable person I know who could get up there and do something like that.
But
again, like you said, you have to have passion.
Yeah, I would run out.
How do you mainstay passion for that long?
Yeah,
you can't.
You don't. You're making a point, and that was the whole thing. He was making a point inside of this. But I did think that was kind of interesting, though. So, Lady Rock, what do you got?
Well, I have an interesting story. This one is about a little miniature dachshund named Valerie. Valerie.
Oh, yeah, now I know that song.
Come and see me. I'm the same I used to be.
There you go. I never knew that said Valerie.
Okay, so a little miniature dachshund named Valerie. She was with her owners, a couple, and they went to this remote Australian island for a little getaway. And they left her unattended. They were just going to go fishing for a little while, and they thought she'd be okay. Well, she wasn't okay. She broke out of her cage, and she escaped. Yes. So that happened back in November of 2023.
Oh, wow. That's a long time ago.
The couple, the owners, they stayed extra days on the island to try and find Valerie.
And they couldn't find her?
And they could not find her. She was gone forever.
No.
Yeah.
Was she taken off by an eagle?
Maybe. Because here's the thing. There are large, venomous black tiger snakes on the island, as well as wedge-tailed eagles.
Oh, there are eagles there.
Those are only just a couple of the worries that Valerie would have to worry about. Yeah. Anyways, her owners, after giving it their best shot, they could not find her. They were like, we're going to have to just go back home, and that's so sad.
Very sad.
Anyways, 500 days later, okay, she is spotted on surveillance. They're like, is that a little dachshund? Yes, it is. That's Valerie.
Surveillance on the island?
Surveillance cameras.
From like a hotel or something there?
Maybe. I don't know. But so they caught Valerie. They saw her on surveillance. And American Kennel Club, they said, these miniature dachshunds, they're not built for distance running, leaping, or strenuous swimming, but they are smart and vigilant.
Yeah.
And she must have been, because now they can't seem to catch her. They know approximately where on the island she is, and so they're setting up cages to try and
they can't catch a purse dog. That's funny.
Right. They're trying to catch her, but they can't. So here's the worry. They have let her owners know, hey, just so you know, Valerie is still alive, actually. Nice. She's here on the island.
That's crazy.
And we can't catch her, but we're trying. And the woman, she said, well, I'm worried about Valerie now because is she domesticated anymore or is she not? Can we get her back to her purse dog ways?
Right, she was a lap dog before, and now she's been out there just surviving.
Yeah, like she had a pink collar on. They said that she still had that collar on.
No way.
But how is she making it? Some theorize that she's been eating roadkill, and that's what's been keeping her alive. But you think about like crocodiles. I mean, everything over in Australia wants to kill you.
Oh, for sure.
And if you're a little mini dachshund,
seems easy.
Yeah.
That is insane.
But Valerie is like, she's made of a different breed.
Maybe she's living her best life. Maybe she didn't like being inside. Maybe she was like, I was born to do this.
But you think about the treats.
I know.
The little purse that you get to hang out in.
I wonder,
the jackets.
I thought it was like a deserted island, but if there's surveillance cameras, there's people living on it and people with hotels or something.
Right.
So maybe
it's like
someone's feeding her.
Yeah, it's like one of those endangered type. It's not like people are on the island to live.
Oh.
It's a remote island that's meant for vacationers.
Okay.
But there are staff on the island to keep it contained because I think there's wildlife on there that they need to keep surveillance of.
Okay. So then you wonder if somebody might be feeding her and be kind of an outside little dog for them or something?
Well, maybe they are trying to bring her back in with food.
Yeah.
But she keeps dodging them.
I would be so sad if the people did not take Valerie back.
Oh, they have to.
If they got another dog and they're like, we've gone this long.
No, they have to.
That would be so sad to me. I would take Valerie in that case. I would be like, I'll take her.
Valerie, but if I were her sister or brother dog, I'd be worried. I wouldn't keep my eyes off Valerie because I think she's made of some thick
crazy
stuff, and she would hurt me.
She's a little cutie.
Valerie. There's actually on Facebook pages, they're keeping people up to date on Valerie.
Oh, good. Well, keep us up to date. I want to know what happens with little Valerie. Thank you. You got any birthdays?
Yes, I do. Let me get to it. No, I actually don't. But I do have a question.
Okay, go.
This one is for Wally and Gavin. It's from Katie. She said, other than the obvious, which is lack of sleep, Wally and Gavin, what do you wish you knew before having a kid? What do you wish you knew before having a kid?
That's a good question, because me looking back on it, I'm trying to think of all the things that I did not know. Boy, that's tough, because there's a lot of things. You know, you wish you knew how tough it was going to be to guide them sometimes.
Oh, wow.
And
I'm still waiting to get to that point.
Yeah, and that's really hard. Like some of the things you have to deal with them and, you know, get out ahead of. Or I wish someone had told me how much it will hurt you to hurt for your kid. I really wish I had known that. Because, you know, when you're, especially like the way I was raised, you know, it's like, kids will be kids and they'll figure things out and stuff like that. But then when you see your kid struggling with something or like being bullied or something, oh my gosh, it clicks another level in you that you want to end somebody, you know, and it's that was hard to see some of the things that my daughter went through, like in high school, that I wish I had known that. It wouldn't have changed my decision, but maybe I could have been more prepared for it. That was light.
Do you think that answer about people who hurt your kid, how different do you think that would have been if Haley, again, we're talking about
been a son,
had been a son? Because I think about it, and I think there is a holistic, an approach to sons that is a little bit more, they'll take care of themselves than it is
100%
for daughters.
100%.
So if you had a son, do you think you would have thought that about
not like I did with Haley?
Yeah.
No, not like I did with Haley.
Like you're like, guys don't get hurt.
Yeah,
but
and
they do. But
and
it's
then if
different.
and then when your son's crying about being bullied, you're like, hey, you need to toughen up. It's okay. We'll figure it out. But when you're, but I'm not going to let you get hurt. I'm not going to stand for it. But here's what you need to do. You go right up to that bully. But when it's your daughter, you're like, oh, girl, your heart just breaks. So I wish I had known that.
Is that how your dad handled you, Gavin, when you were like getting bullied? Did he tell you to man up?
No, because I never really did get bullied.
That is shocking.
Till he came here.
In the fact that you had all your bum surgeries.
Yeah, sure. That was high school, and generally
crazy.
you try your best to hide that and put the pillow down subtly.
But you've seen the picture of Gavin with hair, like emo hair in college that we posted.
Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
It wasn't even that long. In sophomore year of high school, that stuff was down to like my nose. Like it was long.
Yeah. So I mean, he fit in. He fit in with what was going on.
But I never got bullied. I went to a lot of smaller schools, so it was easier for me to be one of the crew versus in high school. It was, and you guys know me. Like I'm pretty good at like fading to the back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that made that a lot easier.
Yeah. Like my dad's advice to me was he always told me, he said, I never want to hear that you started a fight. Don't ever want to hear that. But
still did.
Yeah, I know. No. I was pretty good about that because I was not giant. He's like, but you have complete permission to finish one.
Yeah.
If somebody starts with you, don't take it, finish it. And and then I'm like, yeah, look at me, Dad. I'm 4'11".
Yeah.
Like
I think
I don't have a finishing move here, man. Like I'm not finishing anyone.
They're finishing me.
You're not like RKOing somebody.
Yeah, no, I struggle to pick up my jungle juice without dropping it from my tiny little limp wrist hands.
It's the lip wrister!
And we've come full circle. There she goes.
I'm pulling that for here's how many years of the show.
I will say though too, like to answer the question of the whole like what do you wish you had known going into parenting?
Yeah.
I wish that there was an easier way to understand just how much of a shift there is mentally from going from, oh, this is my life and this is all I have to worry about.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have dogs and a wife, and that's one thing, but they are self-sufficient per se. But there is a very, very big shift from I get to do what I want to do.
Oh yeah.
To I don't.
No, I don't get to do anything.
I don't get to do much
Yeah.
of what I want to do anymore.
Yeah.
And when I do get to do what I want to do, it's at the expense of my wife having to, watch our son and watch. We love him so much, so watching is. But for now, the kid moves, and you're trying to make sure he doesn't die. So
yeah, I've always said if you have a selfish bone in your body, still don't have a kid.
Yeah.
Because it takes all of that. Now it does change, and it does get better. And there's different stages that happen, and they get more self-sufficient, and your life does get remotely back to normal. But I will tell you this, it doesn't get back to what it was until you hit empty nest. You hit empty nest, and all of a sudden, you can be selfish again. You're like, oh my gosh.
But then when their name pops up on your phone, you're like, ooh.
I know. You're like, oh, am I going to answer it?
What's going to happen?
They might be saying, Daddy, I need to move in.
And that's where it's like the debate in my head is that, in essence, I could have 17 and a half years until my son goes to college and my wife have the house back to ourselves.
Right.
And then you sit there and you're like, well, maybe we'll have another and reset that time.
And it could be 20 years from now.
Because if Bennett goes to college in 17 years, I'll be 46.
Yeah.
So
great.
Like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing at 46. Hopefully still playing golf.
Yeah, I was in my 40s when Haley was in college, I think. And
yeah.
Yeah, I should have been.
Second half of your 40s?
Yeah. I should have been.
Late.
She was 8 when I moved here, and I was 38 at the time. She
graduated.
Was 8, so 10 would be 48.
Did you graduate 2 years ago?
Yeah, at least that. Yeah.
You're 56 now.
So would I have been in my 50s?
You might have been right at 50.
At 50 when she went? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't feel.
What year was she in when I got here? 2019?
I don't know. I'm so bad at dates and time. It all is like, it's a mishmash.
College is fun, though.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's finish up the old Aftercast here. And so that's going to do it for your Aftercast. Thanks for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.